Hey everyone, how's it going? It's I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello, Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that thanks button down below. Moving on. I've told this story a couple of times, but let me tell it once more for this official video. There is multiple reasons why I've been very, very bullish on the Veve logo. From the first time they introduced it, back at San Diego Comic-Con. There are a lot of mirrors and a lot of similarities between that and trophy Pokemon cards. Let's just use Trophy Kangaskhan, the card that I bought originally for $80,000, a record price point at that time, and then sold for more than 3x a year later. Back in May of 1998, the only way to get that card, which was handed out for free, is you had to go to Japan and you had to compete in a parent-child tournament. And not only did you have to compete, you had to win a certain number of battles. If you won a certain number of battles, you were handed that card. And that card, maybe 100 or so were handed out. There are 42 or 43 of them graded today. So out of those 100 or so, there's very, very limited amount. And again, that card had sold for more than $250,000 by me last year. Because of the scarcity, because of the story behind it, you had to go somewhere, you had to do a task at a specific time and a specific date, a specific place. And what happened with the Veve logo? They switched it up a little bit, but originally it wasn't going to be announced. They just, David had told me on that Thursday of Comic-Con, like, hey, come find me tomorrow, I have something to give you. Okay. And I start getting messages from everyone, yo, did you talk to David or Dan? They're giving out these cards, you're gonna get like a gold Veve logo. I was like, what? I was like, oh, that's probably what he wanted to give me. So I talked to David that day, and on Friday, and he's like, I didn't give you one yet? I was like, no, you told me to find you today. He's like, oh, okay. Gives me one out of a random stack. Happens to be number 41, which I had originally found out at New York Comic-Con that it was random. I thought it was something that they might have said like, hey, Chavez, thanks for doing all this, and maybe they gifted it to me on the back end somehow. Because it was a random card of a random stack, but no, it was completely random, I happened to get it. He freaked out when I told him I had number 41. He's like, you have number 41? I was like, yeah. He said, okay, that should matter. Some other things that David had mentioned over the course, over the last week or so, a couple weeks, is that there's going to be a lot more utility. And there's also something that he mentioned on the last community update on YouTube, that at least 4 times a year, San Diego and New York Comic-Con and London and Anaheim Designer Con, you'll be able to go and show David and Dan your Veve logo that you have, and you're going to be able to redeem it for a physical item. That physical item's probably going to be 1 out of 300 or 1 out of 400. And I say not 1 out of 500 because out of the 500 that were made, let's say they made 540. Just for instance, let's say they made 540 and they kept 40 and 500 are with everyone. There are only 302 that are redeemed, and they were kind of running out of cards even at New York Comic-Con. David had even said on his Spaces several weeks ago that he had to trick Dan into going and getting one himself. He said, hey, Dan, there's this person that doesn't have one and I ran out of cards. Can I get one from you? And Dan's like, okay. And he gave him one. And that's the one that David used for himself. And that was before New York Comic-Con. That was on Twitter Spaces that David had said, David, if you're watching this and Dan's watching this, you're watching this together, sorry for calling you out, but it was already public. So when he announces that there's only going to be, let's say, 300 or 400 collectibles, physical collectibles at that space, it's okay. Why? Because only 302 were redeemed. There's no way there's 198 that they have still left. It's impossible. I'd say maybe they have 100 left to give out at Decon. But I will also say, and by the way, guys, what do you need me to do for me to get another one? And I'll get a tattoo wherever you want. That being said, I didn't just get the original number 41. Well, I did originally, but last night on Spaces, where David says that you guys want to make this a big deal? We'll make it a big deal. He says that he was going to go and take this Veve logo and give it some of the best utility in the world, and he's going to make it so that you're not going to want to sell it. Now, granted, there's where have we heard this before? We've heard this before saying that when it comes to interoperability, yes, we will have the ability to take our stuff off the Veve app, to put it wherever, but you probably won't want to. Probably because of MCP, if you take it off, well, you don't have it, it won't count as points, probably, in the Master Collectors program. But again, with these, how did I go and I get 2 more? Weren't they like $2,800? Yes, they were. I bought one at about $2,850 and I bought one about $2,900, give or take, last night. After the Spaces, I was listening to the Spaces live on YouTube, and I was live on YouTube, I was having everyone else listen, and I made something, I did a move, which everyone's going to say, like, Chavez, you went a little insane last night. Maybe I did. I had sold a Ben Reilly Spider-Man Ultra Rare, which is one of 600, or 616. And I also sold a Fantastic Four #1 Secret Rare. And I put 2 polls out. One I put on the Veve app saying, what would you rather have, Fantastic Four #1 or Veve logo? And then I put out a tweet on Twitter saying, what would you rather have, Fantastic Four #1 or a Veve logo? About 70%, between both, about 70% had said they would much rather have a Fantastic Four Secret Rare #1. I did not listen. And there was like 1,000 people so it's a good 700 to 300. And it's not like the Fantastic Four #1 Secret Rare has like 2,000 mints, and it only has 600, and Veve logo only has 5, so they're very, very close. That being said, there's no common or uncommon version of the Veve logo. There are thousands of the common, uncommon, rare, and ultra rare of the Fantastic Four Secret Rare. If you can't afford the Secret Rare, well, you can get a cheaper option. For the Veve logo, there is no cheaper option. And also, renting out comics, maybe, every now and then. If somebody, wants to host something in the virtual world, in the Veveverse, it's like, hey, I want to deck my house out with a bunch of amazing rare stuff. Let me get your Fantastic Four #1. And maybe they do that just to show off because, well, people rent cars that aren't their own. They rent houses that aren't their own. Some people try to give off heirs. Bet you that's going to happen in the Veveverse. I bet you there's going to be occasions where you are going to be able to rent out your Secret Rare Spidey and your MC1 and Fantastic Four and your partner statue. That being said, bringing up partners, I don't believe, or when I should say this, that Disney had given us a little bit of utility with that magic lamp, able to give us the Disney D as an airdrop, but that's the first time they did something like that, and there was, I guess, a lot going into it. They didn't make the partner statue with the intention of giving it utility. It's possible that they do one day. It's very possible that they say, hey, you're going to get 25% off on tickets, or you're going to get, 15% off on concessions, or 10% off on, whatever it is. It's very possible that they do that. It's possible that it could be more, that maybe, once a year, you can go to Disney and you can get in a VIP section and you can go and see the fireworks show from, a different angle that nobody else gets to do. Very possible that they do that. And if they do, rentability should kind of go really high. But there's a lot of red tape with Disney. There's a lot of red tape with DC. There's a lot of red tape with all this. And don't expect it for Batman. But again, I love that first set. That Todd Batman and that Riso. I could have gotten 2 of each of those because I did happen to sell my Walt yesterday, so I will be kicked out of that Walt holders group. And I mean, it's something I'll get back eventually when Omi goes to the moon. But I did that because 2 logos wasn't enough. I did that because 3 logos still isn't enough, in my opinion, for me. Because I think you're going to be able to rent these a lot more frequently, a lot more consistently, and for a lot more money than anything else. Why? Because, again, they're going to give out 4 physical pieces, and they're probably, like, how much physical stuff that can they carry? It's probably going to be a first come, first serve, and they're probably not going to be able to go and have 500 pieces at their booth. So that's why I'm thinking all the physical pieces might be like 1 of 300, give or take. And also, not everyone that has one is going to be able to be there. And that's the other thing. You're probably going to be able to rent them out. If one of those physicals, 4 times a year, minimum right now, for at least the next 2 years, but probably for several years later on, they're going to have amazing rentability. If they are worth a couple $100s, you could rent it out for $100. Rent it out even more if the demand is higher. Because that's just also an excuse to go and start a conversation with David. How much would you pay for that? I'd pay a lot of money for that. I have friends that have. I do all this for him, and that's what I think. The rentability is going to be out there. I think that it's so easy to give it utility because there's no red tape. It's not like Disney. It's not, DC. Their utility for bat cows is, I think, the best example of utility for an NFT, like anywhere in the world, because they give so much. So and they're doing that for the bat cows. I don't think they're going to do that for the Todd. I don't think they're going to do that for the Riso. Even though I'm insanely bullish on that set. That is the first set ever. This is the first Veve IP that we've seen, and it's going to have amazing utility. Very limited amount. So yeah, I sold my Fantastic Four #1, Secret Rare, my Ben Reilly, and my partner statue. And I think I've efficiently explained why I did those things, and because of the rentability, because I am betting that, the market cap for the Veve logo was so low, it was, let's say 300 out of 3,000. So obviously, you're looking at about 90,000. You're looking at the partner statue, and it obviously has, millions. So as far as market cap goes, as far as money going into a collectible, yeah, a lot more. The Veve logo has a lot more room to grow. So and then if you're looking at market cap in general for the Fantastic Four Secret Rare, and again, the Fantastic Four Secret Rare was like $24,000 at one point. The Secret Rare number one. And the partner statue has been $50,000 at one point. And they'll probably get there again. They'll probably ascend to where that was. But Veve logo's never been in a bull market, just a bear. And the sub 100s, or I'm sorry, the sub 50s and sub 100s, both of them. The cheapest sub 100, which actually not a bad deal right now, is about $10,000. And the other one, say hi to Fanny over there, Fanny Carbonell on the screen. It has already grown 50% since I just got up, like, oh, hey, now it's 4,400. And what has the partner statue done since last night? It has gone up. So I sold mine at about 3,200 because I was trying to make the move. And now it's Tim LaMattery trying to sell at 3,600. So it has gone up, but it's gone up like $400. Logo has gone up about 50%. And we've been talking about utility. Link down below for that Instagram. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so that's another company I kind of work with. Link down below for their Discord. But this is not the only utility that it's going to get. They're going to announce more, and I'm going to announce more. You think when Omi Moons, I have 3 of them. You think I'm not going to give it utility? And that being said, there's also a private Telegram group now, ran by Mr. MC1. Go message him on Twitter if you have a logo or several, and you can get in. Very, very excited about this. If in DesignerCon the price goes down because more people are getting it, and let's say an extra 50 flood the market, and it goes down to under 3K again, if I have more money, I might get another. I sold things yesterday where I had 6,000 gems. I could have transferred that out and, let's say, gotten another 4-ish million Omi. 4.5 million. Let's say I would have got to 150 million Omi. But I didn't. I got that logo. So let that speak for itself. That being said, I still do have about 500-ish collectibles. Half of them are Lokis. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Comment your thoughts on what you think I did wrong. Am I crazy? We shall see. Short term, 50%. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.